So what we're doing today is we're going to change the thermostat in the 2003 Chevy Suburban. It's been kind of sticking open, so it would run too cool. And so I picked up a Delco off Amazon. I think it was 28 bucks. And we're going to replace it. So this thermostat on this one, 2003 to 99 on the 5.3, I think 4.8 and I think 6.0, use the same thermostat, and it is I think it's 185 degree. This is the one where the thermostat is made into the thermostat housing, and if you've got a, I think 2004 or newer, they're separate. There's a thermostat in, and then a housing. And then if you get a replacement thermostat, I think most of the replacement thermostats are separate. I mean, if you get a replacement water pump. But this one still got the original water pump from 2003. No problems with it. And so we're just going to replace the thermostat in the housing. Now I was trying to figure out, one thing I noticed, if you're not sure, there is a casting number on the water pump. I couldn't find it. But it looks like, looking at the pictures on Amazon, that the one with the integral housing does not have this little thing up here. It just curves around like this side. You know, so it would look more like that. And the one with the thermostat looks like it has that. And I noticed mine had it. And I figured the water pump had never been changed on this. And so it would have, since it's a 2003, it would have the one like that with it built in. So anyway, first thing we need to do, I've loosened this screw. We're going to want to just set this out of the way. I've took this hose holder off of the intake tube, and we'll just need to pull this off. And I think we'll just want to completely get this thing out of the way, so we're going to loosen this clamp here. We need both hands. So here we go. Now I've done these before. This one looks like I'm in luck. The last one I did, that hose clamp, this one, the clamp, they had the clamp over here, and man, was that thing hard to, it was hard to get some pliers in there and get it, and my tool wouldn't fit, and I broke my tool the last job I did. Okay, so there's no, like I said, the tool I have, this is it. It goes on there, and it squeeze, and it clamps it. I'll try to use it. I cracked it. You can see it's cracked. So I don't know if it'll work or not. I picked it up on Amazon. It's, I guess, not the best quality, and it failed. So try that. If not, probably use a pair of pliers. This is part of a piston ring compressor for a Volkswagen. I could use that. I kind of like it because it would kind of latch on. You would have a band for the to wrap around the piston rings. Might try to use that, or a pair of pliers, channel locks, or maybe this pair of pliers. Not sure what this for. Maybe some kind of a brake tool. Not sure. So there's no drain plug on this radiator, so we're just going to get the pan under there and undo the hose and hope we catch most of it. shop's a mess. Okay. Pan. Looks like that's about the right spot. And let me get that hose off, and before you do that, make sure your engine's cooled down. Take the radiator cap off, or the recovery tank cap off. This is there's no radiator cap on these. This is it. It's a pressurized recovery tank. So let's take that clamp off, get that hose off, and then we will unbolt that thermostat housing. So I didn't even try my tool, since this one is so easy to get to. I use this brake, I think it's a brake, some kind of brake pliers. I used that and it actually worked really good. Those little grooves in there actually kind of caught in that clamp real good. And so if you've got a pick like this is it's an old snap-on. These work really good for getting these hoses off, because the hoses get stuck. So you can slip this between the hose and the thermostat, run it around, and it'll unstick the hose. I'm just holding the hose to where it drains in the pan. And we'll just position the hose up somewhere out of the way. Maybe it'll stay right there. So we've got two bolts, it looks like 10 millimeters. We will undo those. You got one on the top and then one coming in the back corner here. Alright, got the old one out. You can see it is an all-in-one unit, just like the new one. Doesn't say where it's made. The new one is made in Brazil. They look the same. Let's see if they got the same part number on them. 125712611, 125712661. Same part number. So we're good to go. So I'm just going to check that surface down there, make sure it's clean. It's just an O-ring fit. There's no, the gasket is the O-ring itself. So I'm just going to check that, make sure that surface is clean. Probably just wipe it down with a rag. There's no like silicone or anything to take off, and you don't need to put any on here. You might just put a little bit of grease or something on it to give it a good seal, or just put it on dry. So let me wipe that down, then I'll get the new one bolted in place. Alright, it's installed. So now all I got to do, well, two things. One, while you have these hoses off, just check them, make sure they're in good shape and everything. These are fine. A lot of people don't like Dexcool. I've never had a problem with it. All of my newer, I've had quite a few newer GM vehicles. They've all had Dexcool in them, and I've never had a problem with any of them. And when I do something like this, I fill it back up with Dexcool. And I don't get any, I never add any of that universal stuff to it. I always get pure Dexcool. I don't never put any of that universal stuff in. So I don't know if that's where people go wrong, is they mix it with the green or mix it with that universal stuff. But all my GM vehicles that have Dexcool get Dexcool, and Dexcool only. So we will fill it. Oh, And I don't use tap water. I buy distilled water. So I do a 50-50 mix of distilled water and Dex Cool. If you don't want to do the distilled water, just go ahead and buy the pre-mixed. It's more expensive, but, well, when you price it out, it's more expensive, because that is 99 cents. So it's a better value to mix it yourself, but if you don't want to do that, just buy the 50-50. So I'm going to do 50% water, distilled water, 50% Dex Cool, and I'll just go ahead and fill it up. It will fill from here, unlike a non-pressurized tank or whatever. This actually does go down in, and it will fill the radiator up. But so it's inessential. It's like filling from the radiator. So we'll go ahead and fill it up, and then we will put all this stuff back on, and we'll be done. Thanks for watching.